Post-Hypnotic Press presents an unabridged recording of The Natural Step Story, Seeding a Quiet Revolution, by Karl-Henrik Robèrt, narrated by Cochran Keating. Forward. Ray Anderson. Its beginning can be traced to the inventive act of one man. The man was Thomas Newcomen. The invention was the steam-driven pump. The year was 1712, and what began was the Industrial Revolution. The pump solved a big problem: water in the English coal mines, water that needed to be removed if the miners were going to use their time efficiently to mine. So, for the first time ever, nature, stored sunlight a billion years old, was harnessed and turned on nature to exploit nature through the power of a machine, for the sake of miner productivity, more coal per man-hour, then more iron per man-hour, and more textiles per man-hour, and on and on. Today the mantra includes more computer chips per man-hour and more gizmos per man-hour. Same system, same goal, more sophisticated products. The chosen route to elusive abundance for all continues to be increasing labor productivity at the expense of nature. When people were scarce and nature was bountiful, seemingly unlimited, what could be more sensible than to extract and use nature to increase human productivity? And when nature was bountiful, seemingly unlimited, what could be more sensible than to dump the polluted remains of exploited nature back into nature? Never mind how much pollution, never mind how poisonous, nature could handle it. That is the way the Industrial Revolution unfolded: taking, making, wasting, and polluting, as Paul Hawken describes in his landmark book, The Ecology of Commerce, Harper Business, 1993, in pursuit of increased labor productivity, thus prosperity. There was no plan for the Industrial Revolution, no grand vision, not even a name, until modern times gave it one retrospectively. It just happened, guided only by Adam Smith's invisible hand of the market and a mindset flawed in its perception of nature as an unlimited source and a bottomless sink, a mindset that rendered the invisible hand effectively blind as well as invisible. Blind to what? Blind to the consequences, what modern economic theory calls the externalities. Such societal costs as increasing cancer in children, disappearing forests and wetlands, polluted rivers, streams, aquifers, and oceans, rising global temperatures, exotic disease vectors, disappearing species. When we in the developed world look around at the skyscrapers and motorways, ocean liners, and rocket ships, we cannot help but marvel at the civilization that has emerged from the Industrial Revolution. Labor productivity and nature's abundance have brought us a long way. The prosperity we enjoy stands in stark contrast to the deprivation of 1712. Who could possibly question the efficacy of the industrial age? Well, perhaps those bearing the cost of the externalities, such as the children with cancer and their parents, have a question or two. Perhaps the threatened species, could they only speak, would have a question or two. Perhaps the two-thirds of humanity who have been left out by the modern industrial system have some questions of us who enjoy such abundance through sheer accidents of birth. Perhaps those of us who depend on forest and stream, aquifer and ocean for oxygen, water, and food have a question or two. But wait, isn't that all of us? Asking the right questions brings a certain clarity. We step back and look at this industrial age, and we see vast wealth concentrated in the developed world and derived at the expense of nature, upon which all, we and perhaps 30 million other species, are utterly dependent. The truly enlightened question then emerges: how long can this go on? How long indeed? An industrial age dating from 1712 has existed for only the blink of an eye in geologic or evolutionary time. How much longer can nature sustain such taking, wasting, and polluting as accompanies our making and using? How much externality can we afford? The nature that we have finally recognized as finite, thanks to pictures of the Earth from space, has only so much to give, and so much capacity to absorb, assimilate, and endure. Therefore, the present system is by definition unsustainable. So what's a species, intent on being around for a few more millennia and sharing a growing prosperity with an ever larger population, to do? Common sense answers: do something different. Maybe it is a time to think differently about productivity.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?